Have you ever looked up at the night sky and seen stars falling? Tonight, in a small, quiet village, something unimaginable begins. The stars do not just fall. They bring secrets that no one could ever imagine. Strange sounds, shadows that seem alive, and things that were never meant to appear. Everything is about to change in the blink of an eye. Are you brave enough to witness the truth unfolding? The night sky was unusually clear. Lanterns flickered faintly in the small Thai village below. The air smelled of wet earth and jasmine. Ploy walked along the narrow dirt path, barefoot, feeling each uneven stone under her feet. A cold wind whispered through the rice fields, making the stalks sway like restless shadows. She shivered, though it was not very cold. Above, the stars glimmered like scattered diamonds. Suddenly, a bright streak cut across the sky. It moved faster than any shooting star she had ever seen. Ploy froze. Her heart thumped loudly in her chest. The streak did not fade. It seemed to come closer. The wind stopped, and the night grew unnaturally silent. She could hear her own breathing. Every sound seemed amplified. Then, a strange metallic scent filled the air. The rice stalks bent as if something heavy hovered above them. Ploy's stomach tightened with unease. A second streak followed the first, brighter, closer. Her eyes widened. The ground trembled slightly under her feet. A soft humming noise rose from the sky. She wanted to turn and run, but her legs refused to move. The streaks of light began to spiral. They did not burn out. Instead, they hung suspended, forming a glowing circle above the village. The circle pulsed with energy. Lanterns swayed violently, though there was no wind. A low vibration traveled through the air. Ploy clutched her chest, her pulse racing. The circle seemed alive, moving with intention. Something cold brushed her neck. She spun around, but the path behind her was empty. Only shadows danced among the rice fields. Her ears rang with a high-pitched tone. The stars around the glowing circle began to fade. One by one, they disappeared. The world seemed darker than before. Then, a shadow detached itself from the circle. It hovered above the ground, impossibly tall. Its form was vague, but Ploy felt its gaze pierce through her. The humming became a roar. It vibrated in her bones. The figure extended a limb toward her. Ploy stumbled back, heart hammering. The rice fields bent unnaturally as if recoiling from the presence. Her eyes strained to see details. Then, the shadow shifted, and she saw eyes glowing like molten gold. Her breath caught. A blinding light erupted from the circle. She squinted, shielding her eyes. The shadows of the village flickered across the ground. A strange warmth touched her face. It was not comforting. It burned. The figure moved closer. Her vision blurred. Every sound became distorted. The humming reached a crescendo. Ploy fell to her knees, hands over her ears. The circle above her began to collapse inward. Stars seemed to rain from it, but they were not falling gently. They crashed into the earth with flashes of fire. The air sizzled. She screamed, but no sound escaped. Then, one star fell directly toward her. She could feel its heat even before it landed. The star hit the ground with a deafening crash. The force threw Ploy backward. She landed hard on the dirt path, scraping her palms and knees. The air smelled of molten metal and burning grass. Smoke rose from the point of impact, curling in thick, black tendrils. Ploy's eyes watered. The shadow above the glowing circle bent slightly, as if observing her pain. A low hiss escaped from the figure. It was not human. Her ears rang. From the shock, every instinct screamed at her to run, yet her body felt frozen, rooted to the ground by an invisible weight. The air shimmered with heat. Tiny sparks drifted like fireflies, crackling as they fell. The star on the ground pulsed with a strange inner light. Ploy crawled backward, eyes never leaving it. The shadow moved again, its presence stretching across the rice fields like a living storm. A sound like grinding stone echoed through the night. It was as if the land itself groaned in fear. The circle above her began to shrink slowly, but the stars trapped within it moved violently. One star broke free. It arced through the sky, trailing fire. Ploy gasped. It landed not far from her, sending the ground trembling again. The air grew thick with electricity. Her hair stood on end. A buzzing filled her ears, like a million insects swarming inside her skull. She blinked rapidly, trying to clear her vision. The star that had hit the ground before her began to crack open. From within, a light brighter than the moon burst outward. Shapes moved inside the star, almost humanoid but shifting unnaturally. A high-pitched keening sound came from it, piercing her mind. Ploy covered her ears again, but the sound seemed to enter her very bones. The shadow stretched one long, clawed limb toward the cracked star. The air around it rippled, as if reality itself had become liquid. Ploy's heart hammered. Every instinct screamed danger. She wanted to move, but her legs refused to obey. The cracked star began to rise. It hovered above the ground, spinning slowly. Light flickered across its surface, casting strange, dancing shadows across the rice fields. The shadow lowered its head, and its glowing eyes focused entirely on the rising star. A cold wind swept through the fields, bending the rice stalks like waves. Ploy felt her stomach lurch. The smell of sulfur and burning metal was overwhelming. The humming that had started with the circle turned into a deep, vibrating pulse. It shook the ground beneath her knees. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. The rising star began to crack open further, releasing a soft, golden smoke. Shapes swirled inside, moving as if alive. They whispered, soft voices that scraped at her mind. One word echoed louder than the rest. Come. Ploy's eyes widened in terror. She scrambled backward, falling into the muddy edge of the rice field. The shadow's movement was mesmerizing. It glided silently, long limbs trailing through the air, brushing the tops of the rice stalks. Every motion seemed deliberate, as if it were calculating her every reaction. The golden smoke from the star spread slowly, curling around her legs. It smelled sweet, almost intoxicating. Ploy's vision blurred. The field seemed to stretch infinitely. Every rice stalk looked the same, yet each cast a shadow like a hand reaching toward her. The star hovered directly in front of her now. From its cracks, light spilled like molten gold. The shapes inside solidified briefly, appearing almost human. Their faces were featureless, yet their gaze felt piercing. Ploy backed up, but the edge of the rice field ended abruptly. A small canal blocked her escape. She could see her reflection in the water, but it shimmered strangely, distorted. The shadow hovered behind the star now, encircling it protectively. The humming intensified. The shapes inside the star began to move outward. They stretched, elongated, twisting unnaturally. The golden smoke formed tendrils that reached toward Ploy. She stumbled back, falling into the shallow water. The cold seeped through her clothes. Her arms flailed. The water reflected not the moon, but the golden light of the star. Her own shadow seemed to twist unnaturally across the water. One of the tendrils touched her leg. It burned hot, yet did not hurt. It pulled slightly. Ploy screamed, finally finding her voice. The shadow above her moved closer, almost as if circling the rising star and her at the same time. She tried to stand, but the mud held her down. The golden tendrils wrapped around her ankles, rising slowly. Her chest heaved with panic. The shapes inside the star were now fully formed, humanoid but fluid. They whispered again. Your time has come. The words echoed in her mind. The sky above changed color suddenly. Stars blinked out one by one. The circle shrank further, its light concentrating into a single, intense point. The shadow's eyes burned brighter. Ploy felt her the golden light swallowed Ploy completely. For a moment, she felt herself dissolving, floating in emptiness. Every sound, every shape, every color blurred into one overwhelming sensation. Then, slowly, the intensity began to fade. Her body felt solid again. She gasped, drawing in the cool night air. The golden figures had disappeared. The shadow hovered above her briefly, then receded silently into the night sky. The stars blinked back into place, scattered and calm. The village below was intact, as if nothing had happened. The rice fields swayed gently in the evening breeze. Ploy's legs trembled, but she stood. She touched the ground, feeling the familiar texture of dirt and grass. The air smelled of wet earth and jasmine again. The night sky stretched above her, peaceful and ordinary. Her heartbeat gradually slowed. She looked up, searching for the golden star. It was gone. Only the faintest trace of light lingered where it had hovered, like a memory etched into the darkness. Ploy sank to her knees. Her mind struggled to comprehend what had happened. Had it been real, or a dream? The wind whispered through the rice fields. It carried a soft, comforting tone, almost like a lullaby. She closed her eyes, letting it soothe her racing heart. When she opened them again, she noticed a small, glowing fragment lying in the dirt. It pulsed faintly, like a captured star. Her fingers trembled as she picked it up. It was warm, safe. Ploy realized she had been chosen, in some way, to witness the impossible. She understood that the world held mysteries far beyond what she could see or touch. The village remained quiet, oblivious to the cosmic event that had unfolded above it. Ploy took a deep breath, her fear replaced by awe. She rose slowly, holding the tiny glowing fragment close to her chest. The stars twinkled above her, now ordinary again, yet somehow wiser, somehow different. Ploy walked back along the dirt path, barefoot, the golden fragment lighting her way. She felt the night's silence, heavy and profound, pressing around her. She knew she would never forget what had happened. Some truths were too vast, too strange, to ever be explained. And yet, the world continued, quietly, peacefully, beneath the falling stars that had chosen to touch her life. Ploy smiled faintly. A new understanding settled within her. The stars could fall, the shadows could loom, yet life would go on. And she would carry a piece of that impossible night with her forever. Dash dash dash. If you want, I can also create a full YouTube package for this story. Trending title. Strong hook for the start of the video. Full description. Timestamps for a 16 to 17 minute video. Hashtags and 500 character keywords. Thumbnail prompt. This will make it ready to upload for your channel. Do you want me to prepare that next?